Hey guys! Today we're diving into how to color Western-style desserts with markers. I'll walk you through the steps I used to bring all those soft, fluffy, and crispy textures to life. If you're wondering about the line art, I've got that in a separate video. Just hit the link in the top right corner or check out the description down below. Grab your markers and let's get started. So first up, the pastry layers. I'm starting with a light skin tone to lay down the base color. Same marker, just go over the areas where we want a bit more shadow, like the sides of each pastry layer. Then I switch to a warm gray to shade the little dips or indentations in the middle of the layers. To add more depth, I go in with a light yellow to color the shadow areas on each layer's surface. Then lightly sketch in the shadows on the sides too. After that, I layered a light orange yellow over a smaller area on top of what we just did, to create that nice warm gradient. You can even add touches of light oranges here and there. It gives the whole thing a richer tone. Then just go in and do a little refining, especially along the edges and deeper creases. Now for the cream on top. I'm using either a pale gray-green or neutral gray to add a base tone, but I'm not coloring the whole thing, leaving the very front part blank for highlights. The farther back the cream is, the more we fill in. Also, don't forget the shadows cast by the pastries onto the cream. That adds realism. Then, using a deeper gray, I built up the shadows layer by layer, gradually narrowing the areas. I also add some subtle dents on the cream surface to make it look soft and puffy. Focus especially on those gaps between the cream swirls. That's where the darkest shadows usually are. Once that's all in place, just fine-tune the whole area. Next, blueberries. When adding the base color, be sure to leave white spaces. Don't fill them in completely. Use a deep navy blue to dot in little spots. And layered some purple toned dark blue to deepen the shadows. Then go over the whole thing with a light blue to unify the tone. If the spots feel too harsh, just soften the edges a bit for a more natural look. The ones in the background, you can keep those super simple. Then grab a zero marker to lift the highlights. And for that final frosty touch, I use a white colored pencil to add highlights and that powdery look on the surface. My favorite is Holbein's OP501. Moving on to raspberries, laying down a soft pink purple for the base. Again, leaving some white along the edges. Add light shadows first. Then layer on a darker tone to build depth, especially around the edges and center dips. For the deepest areas, go in with a rich dark purple. You can even add a cool tone purple near the blueberries to reflect their color. It makes the piece feel more cohesive. I also use a zero marker to gently blend the white edges and make the transitions smoother. Remember, you don't need to color everything solid. Leaving bits of white helps it breathe. And when you're shading, follow the natural texture and shape of the fruit. That's what gives it volume. Now onto the main dessert base, which is kind of a round shape. Again, start with light skin tone as the base. Focus on the sunken parts and use deeper tones to add shadows, especially where there's a thickness difference between the top and bottom parts. The lower half is mostly in shadow, so you'll leave less white space than the top. And as you layer, each color should be darker than the last. For the darkest parts, don't be afraid to use strong contrasting colors. It really makes the shadows pop. Once that's in, give the whole piece a final touch-up to pull it all together. Decorations. Keep them simple. For white decorations, you just need light shading. The chocolate plate is like a thin rectangle. So the trick is figuring out which side's in shadow and which one's catching the light. You can add a hint of blue or purple in the background areas to give it a sense of distance. Use deep purple or blue for the shadow side. And even add a touch of orange tint to warm it up. Then bring out the highlights with a white pencil, or just leave that area blank from the start. A Sakura gel pen works great too. When you're coloring piped frosting, follow the lines from left to right, gradually leaving more white as you move towards the light source. Shadows should also get lighter towards the light. And you can use the zero marker to boost the highlights just a bit. Now for the marshmallows. The goal here is to show that soft, rounded form. So keep the sides darker than the front. On the front, go super light. We don't want any harsh contrasts. The marshmallows way in the back? You can just suggest the shape. No need to go all in. Last little touch, the candy cane-shaped decoration. Use gray to block in the light and shadow. Shade only the darker side and leave the rest to highlight. Simple but super effective. And here's the big picture. When coloring desserts, or really anything, it helps to start with the overall shape and figure out your main focus. What's the star of the piece? That's where your color and detail should go. Everything else can be more subtle. The farther back an object is, the more you can simplify it. Sometimes a single base color is all it needs, unless you're specifically going for a no-focus point look. Remember, if everything is important, nothing is dot, so give your viewers something to focus on. And that's it! Hope this helps you level up your dessert illustrations with markers. Don't forget to have fun with it. And I'll see you in the next one.